Hello everybody and welcome to Against the Fence. This is your latest UFC news with that real fan opinion. And tonight we're going to be talking about that all-important rematch that got announced in probably, 23 hours ago, something like that. That is Kamaru Usman taking on Colby Covington for the lightweight title. And this will be contested at UFC 268. In November the 6th at Madison Square Garden. Now, Madison Square Garden is known as, that fantastic fantastic arena, and the UFC always put on a massive, massive card. So we're going to be talking about that. We're also going to be talking about that horrific tweet that Conor McGregor posted as well last night, which has sent MMA Twitter into absolute meltdown. So I'll be giving a bit of a run through about that, giving you my thoughts and opinions and how I feel about it. And where does Conor go from here, I guess. So if you are new to the channel, we are a UFC fan channel that's ran by UFC fans, and all three of us that run it, we've been watching UFC now for probably 12 years. So, we absolutely love it, and our mission is to provide you guys, other fans, the ultimate sort of fan experience. So let's dive into it then. Kamaru Usman is taking on Colby Covington at UFC 268, and it was announced, I think, yesterday. It might have been broken by Brett Okamoto from ESPN. So an official announcement from the UFC is waiting. Maybe that will take place this weekend. Who knows? But let's go into then something that Colby Covington has spoke about on MMAfighting.com a little while ago, when he said, as soon as his balls stop shrinking and he comes back to earth, he can fight me again, Covington said. But the thing is, he's off the grid. He's probably got his phone on airplane mode. He's denying all the UFC's calls. He doesn't want to sign the contract. He's just hoping some alien invasion happens where he can pick some other lightweight washout to fight. So, in interesting words there from Colby, and I think maybe it might be a little bit of a tactic on his part. He might be putting those words out to the media, hoping and just trying to urge Usman to sign the contract, really. What Usman could be doing, I don't know. Sounds like there was a hold up there on Usman's part. But is that to do with maybe money? We're always talking about money in the MMA world and fighters' pay and things like that. But nonetheless, it's happening now. It's basically been confirmed, and yeah, it's going to be a fantastic fight. Whether I'm bothered about it or not, at first I wasn't, but now since watching back the first one, I am kind of excited about it, and we're going to see maybe many different things than we did in the last fight, to be honest. Now, if we kind of look at the last fight, then Usman kind of broke Colby's jaw in that 5th round, and he secured the TKO victory. And that the scorecards, funnily enough, it was a close fight, don't get me wrong, but the scorecards were quite interesting. Let's read it out now. So the first judge, he scored 3 rounds to Usman. The second judge had it 2-2 going into the 5th round. And then the third judge, interestingly, had 3 rounds to Colby. I mean, MMA judging is always something that's being talked about, especially recently coming off of the weekend's event. And I don't know what you guys made of that fight. I thought it was pretty close. It could have easily gone to a draw, perhaps, if Usman hadn't got the finish. If I look at the scorecards, the second judge, Eric Colon, probably had it most accurate. But if you disagree with me, please let me know. I'll be quite interested to get your guys' opinions on that. But Colby sort of in the first fight, he sort of made, he pressed the pace on Usman. He really got in Usman's face. But the thing is Usman was really having a real good job on capitalizing on those body shots. And he broke Colby's jaw in the 5th round. And he targeted that jaw. He was able to kind of really pinpoint his strikes, and which led to him putting him away. And I'm not going to make any excuses. I'm not a Colby Covington fan, okay? I'll make that clear now. I'm not a Colby fan. And you got to give credit to Usman, because he caused the jaw break, right? But if he didn't break Colby's jaw, then how was that fight going to go? Because that would have been a close decision. And there's a lot of questions now going into this second fight. What can we expect? Is it going to be even closer than the first one? Or is Usman perhaps this absolute tear that he's on at the moment, finishing guys in the first and second round? Is Usman going to get a finish on Colby? I think it's possible. I think he will probably finish Colby the second time round, in terms of the development that he's made. But then on the flip side, Colby's had one fight since that fight, and he beat Woodley. Okay, yeah, he beat him in decision, dominating fashion. Or was it stoppage? No, it was a stoppage, wasn't it? It was a rib injury. But nonetheless, a flawless performance. Now, I don't think there's enough there. That fight was in September. I don't think there's maybe too much ring rust there. It could be a little bit. But I do think that perhaps Colby has knuckled down and maybe made the right adjustments going into this second fight. Let's see what the guys are talking about here. So I said the first fight was fire, no doubt. But how long was Colby been out? Usman could make easy work this time around. He's been getting so much better. Yeah, no, absolutely. And I basically touched upon those points, funnily enough. Ash saying, but that's the thing. He did have the perfect game plan, but Usman dug deep. Yeah, no, it's true. He did. He did have the perfect game plan. It's true. But, Usman, second time around, he clearly needs to invest in the body again, because that worked. Colby, the difference is what Colby could make. I guess because he was tagging Usman a lot, and he got off some proper decent strikes on him. It was just back and forth throughout the fight. I think the things that Colby perhaps needs to do is mix in some wrestling. We didn't see that much of that in the first fight. Can Colby get Usman down? That's the question. And if he does it this time around, then those sort of factors could be deciding factors. Not gonna lie, I would love to see Colby champ. Come on. Oh, controversial. A lot of people, Colby Covington's like Marmite. You either love him or you hate him. His antics, the whole sort of Trump thing, okay, that was fantastic. It was entertaining. I'm assuming he's kind of moved on from all that now. Nonetheless, he's going to say some controversial shit. Absolutely. And that it makes you amped up to watch the fight. And nonetheless, this fight will probably, for Usman, be as a bigger payday as the Masvidal, potentially. But, my early prediction, I would like to say Usman, maybe round 2, maybe round 3. But it's like I said, I think round 3 is probably, I reckon it'll be about round 3. It's fair to say, it depends if Colby can get the fight to the mat. That's the ultimate question, I think, coming into this one. Mason says, Usman is going to wreck Colby at the press conference. It's going to be hilarious. I know. I'm excited to see that, Mason. Absolutely. I think there's potential for us to see that. And, Masvidal was quite entertaining as well. But I think Colby just brings it to almost a whole new level. And will he get in Usman's head? That's the question. Didn't really look like it in the first fight. But can he do it this time round? Maybe that's also another thing to add into Colby's thing. Oh, hang on. 2 seconds, guys. 2 seconds, guys. I've literally... Hang on. I've got to do this. There we go. I'm back. So, as I was saying, I think it will play into Colby's game plan, potentially, to get into Usman's head. That will just add to everything and increase his chances of winning, of course. Now, the card itself, MSG, pay-per-view, it's always a good one. It's always a good card when they go there. Is there going to be another title fight on the card? That's my question. Now, the list of available titles, I think, judging around sort of that time period, we're looking at, well, you think last time Usman fought, you had Rose knocking out Weili. Could Rose be on that card? She's been on an MSG card as well before in the past. Could she be making a title defense, whether it be against Weili in a rematch? Weili wanted that rematch. I think the fans probably want us to move on from that, seeing as though Rose beat her in round 1. But if not, who do you guys think could be making their title shot against Rose Namajunas? Let us know in the comment section what your thoughts are. Side's going Usman knockout in 26th minute of pre-fight press conference. Oh, okay, sure. I didn't see that. Oh, funny. That's good. Okay, that's fair play. All right, good call. The other fight I think that would also potentially make sense is maybe Brandon Moreno making his first flyweight title. Because the fights that the UFC normally put on for sort of co-main title fights are all 3 women's divisions, and we're probably men's flyweight and maybe bantamweight as well. So bantamweight's off the cards because that's already been confirmed. Amanda Nunes is fighting next weekend. It's not going to be that. Then you've got Shevchenko. She's already fighting Lauren Murphy on the same card, quote me wrong, as Gan Lewis, I think. So it leaves you those 2 options. Now, if it's not going to be a title fight, Gilbert Burns has piped up on Twitter ahead of the announcement, after the announcement of Usman Covington, saying he would like to fight Leon Edwards in a 5-round co-main. What are your guys' thoughts on that? 2 welterweight fights, the main and co-main of that MSG card, with the co-main winner then going on to fight the winner of the main event. That's bizarre, right? That's bonkers. It's insane. Now, Mason's back in. He says Usman versus Covington 2 and Aljo versus Yan 2. Main event and co-main would have been really good. Would have sold well. No, absolutely. Yeah, that would have been a good idea as well. That would definitely bolster that card. It's a bit weird that these announcements, both 2 announcements have come back to back. Could they bump that fight up to the same card down the line? Absolutely. It's the UFC. They're so unpredictable. You know, they're always moving fights around if they feel like a card isn't going to potentially sell. That would be a good idea. But then who do you have as the main event for UFC 267? Ooh, you know, unless you can fit in another title fight somewhere. But no, that's an interesting take, Mason. Absolutely. But let's get your thoughts then. Pick your winners. Who you think are going to win in either Burns versus Edwards? It's a big fight. It's a tough fight. Oh, Young Glover is already on the main card. Oh, of course. Yeah, no, you're right. Absolutely. How could I forget that fight as well? Like heavyweight fight. That would have been insane. Yeah, I guess they could just stick to the one main event for that card. There's no harm in that. But then on the flip side, who's more popular? Usman and Covington or Jan Glover? The two on this side are way more popular than this side. So you need another title fight on this card to bolster that up, to even it out. So now you've come to mention it, I don't see the UFC moving that fight. It's a good point. Good points, guys. Great chat, guys. And Mason, thanks for being my man in the chair. Always need a man in the chair with these fights. They drive you insane. But can't wait for this card. It's gonna be fantastic. They're gonna absolutely stack it. And we'll be doing a watch along for it, no doubt, at Super Glocko in the morning in the UK. So yeah, of course, come join us. Now let's move on to this next bit of news with Conor McGregor's cryptic tweet. Now, I don't want to read it to you guys. If you're tuning in and you don't know what I'm talking about, please do get up another tab and check it out, because I don't think I could. It's so dark, I can't read it. Like, it's ridiculous. Now, when I woke up this morning and I saw it going off, my immediate reaction was, surely MMA Twitter is just taking this out of context. Surely. But then, and because especially when there's such a big time gap between the two tweets, you know, Khabib's tweet was after the Poirier fight on the 11th of July, and this tweet was last night from Conor. Conor's tweet was last night. So it doesn't really add up. And I was sitting there starting to think to myself, perhaps Conor's referencing something else. Could somebody have come out on the news or something like that, just voicing their bullshit opinion about COVID, saying it was actually a good thing that it happened? But then on the other side, then what's Conor on about? Father is evil? You know, what does that make sense? Like, I want to believe that this is taken out of context, but the more I read into it, you know, or read the tweets over and over again, he is referencing the tweet that Khabib made, 2+ weeks ago. And it is very, very sad, you know? And it makes you believe, what was Conor doing at the time? Was he drunk? We know Conor to just completely tweet out bullshit to try and get a reaction. And I think when he is doing those things, it is almost like when he's drunk, right? Because we've gone from, all right, we're seeing that the absolute hype train of Conor, the entertainer, the guy who elevates fights, to the Conor who's now a father, who a bit more humble towards Donald Cerrone, and then we were like, oh, you know, maybe he needs that sort of spark back. And then the first Dustin fight, he was also humble there. You know, there wasn't beef. And then the second fight, when after he got beat, that's when we started seeing that sort of fired up Conor and trying to, you know, get under people's skin. So, you know, what is Conor doing? He's clearly pissed off. You know, it's quite easy for people to sit back and say about Conor not having the motivation anymore and money, and he's got all the money and all this kind of stuff. But at the same time, if he's tweeting this stuff out, okay, he's either trying to rattle some feathers to get another fight, or two, it's because those losses hurt. You know? He's bummed out about them. He's motivated. He wants to get the wins back. And it's killing him inside. And yeah, I feel for the guy. And look, I'm not sticking up for Conor in the slightest, right? I'm not defending Conor in the slightest. I'm not actually a Conor McGregor fan. I'm an admirer of his skill set, and I've said this before. And that's it. So, you know, and my mind is thinking, I do feel for him. He does clearly need help one way or another. But then at the same time, you look on his Instagram feed and he's taking pictures with Justin Bieber and clearly having a hell of a time despite having a broken leg. it's just weird, right? And especially when we speak to the Irish fans, some of the guys from SBG who are close to SBG over in Ireland, and they were praising Conor and saying, you know, he's done all these great things. He's paid for people's travels for I can't remember what it was now. You will have to remind me. He's paid for their travels to go overseas to do competitions. He's put a lot of money into the Irish football scene, soccer over in the US. So, you know, there is some good in Conor. There's no denying that. Whatever he's fighting in himself, I hope he gets past it. But only time will tell. But the problem is he's lost a hell of a lot of fans from this. Everyone's livid. I've gone through Twitter. The amount of people who said, I was a Conor McGregor fan now. But now it's just, you know, it's just embarrassing. And it couldn't get embarrassing enough. The Joe Rogan interview after the Dustin fight was embarrassing. Everyone slayed him for that. And he lost fans for that. But this time, it's almost like there's no going back, you know? On the flip side, it is kind of weird because Conor did send his condolences to Khabib when Khabib did lose his father. You know? And you saw the nice Conor. Why are we seeing this bad Conor now? Is he trying to get Khabib out of retirement for a fight? Does that make sense for Khabib? No. Okay, he hasn't got a title anymore. Are you trying to get under Khabib's skin to get him out of retirement? I don't think this is the right way to go about it. It's too personal. He needs to sort it out, man. But, well, comments are, let's read some comments then. Based on this news. Sai saying, love that Yuri guy. Best thing to grace the camera since Style Bender. No, absolutely. Really excited to see Yuri go on a potential, get the potential winner of Jan versus Glover. I think that'd be fantastic. Dead pumped for that fight. Either one of those guys. I mean, I quite like Glover. I do really like Glover, and I kind of want him to beat Jan. Glover versus Yuri is a tough fight for Glover. Let's put it that way. Tough fight. Hard to call. Actually, yeah, that's the exciting thing. Sai saying Conor's got a dark side. We all know that. Yeah, you know, we've seen both sides of Conor. But at the same time, you know, it's kind of similar to John Jones. You know, John Jones has been in the media for bad things several times in the past. He's managed to get over it eventually. Time heals wounds, that sort of stuff. Is this a little bit different? Is it? You know, it's personal. Did John Jones lose many fans for the stuff he did? Probably. But is it as much so as Conor? That's the question. It's tricky. Ash saying he is forcing being dark and still all a game. Maybe, yeah. People are happily looking for excuses to not follow him now, though his time has come and gone. No, absolutely. And I mean, I've seen on Twitter people are slating those fans who are actually sticking up for Conor. People are actually sticking up for him. That's how bonkers this thing is. Like, how can you stick up for him? You're an absolute moron. As I said, I'm not reading out these tweets because they hurt that deep. You know, I mean, look, I'm a fan of Khabib. I'm not like the biggest Khabib fan. I'm not, you know, I like to look at situations from both sides. Okay, but look, I can't, you know, I just can't do it. It's just wrong. But hey, apologies to leave us on a downer, okay? This is probably the first video that we've done where we've left you on a bit of a downer. But I do apologise. But the plus side is, this weekend, we will be doing a watch-along for the Uriah Hall versus Sean Strickland fight this Saturday. It's going to be a good card. There's been some movements already in this week, but either way, we're going to bring you all the breakdowns, the reactions. And, you know, sometimes if it's not a good card, it can turn out to be a spectacular one with fuller finishes. I'm still got high hopes for it. You guys at home might feel it's a bit iffy, but I guarantee, if you join in with us, we will make the experience worthwhile for you, okay, here at ATF. So do stick around and on our channel. If you are new, please do hit that subscribe button, because we are a forever growing UFC fan channel, and we kind of, you know, we love to interact with fans, because at the end of the day, you guys, we just love hearing your thoughts. And this past weekend, we had amazing interaction. Thank you again, the guys who did tune in for the last watch along. You made it so entertaining. It elevated us to a whole new level, and we can't wait to bring you much more content. I'm JK. This is ATF. This was ATF, sorry. And I hope you enjoyed the video.